Okay, so typically I don't usually talk about live albums or even bother with them for the most part. I mean, I don't know. A lot of them are just kind of whatever, just for the sake of putting something out. Let's just put out a live album. Some of them do transcend that and become one of these must-haves. And of course, today we are talking about S&M. Both of them, but mainly the first one. And I am rocking my green t-shirt because today is St. Patrick's Day. Yes, this is how early I'm filming this shit. Gotta get ahead, you know? So I've said this many times on this channel already. I firmly believe that if you add strings to anything, it's automatically better. And because of that, I do believe that several of these tracks on S&M are indeed better than their studio counterparts. And I just wanted to talk about which ones I think are better. And I don't know, just a general discussion about S&M. I'm not going to rank every track on this because that would be kind of pointless. And before we actually start talking about the first one, I just want to say a few things about the second one because there's not a lot, because it's mostly the same except not as good. First of all, it was pretty cool that they played at least one song off every album, even though Kill 'Em All, they took the easy way out. I mean, the Anesthesia thing was very nice, what the guy did, but I mean, that was kind of like a cop-out, like, oh, what can we play off Kill 'Em All? We'll just do Anesthesia, because let's not actually play a real song. As far as all the new stuff goes, with like Confusion and Halo on Fire, all this stuff that obviously they didn't write yet before the first one, those are all pretty decent. The two like classical pieces on the first part of disc one, like the Sicilian Suite, I like the better when Carl Palmer did it. And then the second one, honestly, the Iron Foundry is kind of annoying because the guitar, like, wow, 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 he does that the whole time, and I'm just like, I don't care for those at all. And then we have Unforgiven 3, which, you know, is strictly just Symphony and James singing, which I kind of would have rather had the whole band. I mean, if they want to do, like, the first half, but at least as soon as a solo, or, like, the bridge part, like the Forgive Me, like, I think the band could have came in with that. That would have been neat. And yeah, I think you can seriously tell that the guy who was directing the symphony wasn't no Michael Kamen. I mean, that's what happens when you work with someone who is an actual legend in composing music and stuff like that. So he's definitely missed on here. There are some highlights I want to mention before getting into the all better songs, and there goes the sun again. So first of all, for one, I really love how the last chorus sounds on the first S&M. The way James like goes up and like kind of goes up notes for the Hold My Breath as I Wish for Death, all that part. And the strings kind of go up with him too. It's a really nice moment. Then there's Enter Sandman. There's some really cool shit they do in the break when it like drops out and then like the strings come in. It's like it's super creepy. Really nice touch there. Devil's Dance, I'm honestly surprised they played it. I mean, honestly, how is that a song they even touched? Like, I like Devil's Dance, as you've saw, or you may have skipped the Reload video, but I do like Devil's Dance. But honestly, don't know why they chose this one, but hey, pretty glad it's here. And then we have Fuel, which has that sick-ass guitar, wah, that whole shit. Just adding to the whole, how I mentioned also in the Reload video, how I think it's really cool how the double bass kind of acts like an engine. And then this version, you have the speeding guitar sounds on the guitar. Fucking awesome. And I love the last part of the song especially. Like the last Gimme Fuel, Gimme Fire line, when he hits that tom and then it like explodes into the ending. It's fucking awesome. Wolf and Man, several times on this album, the strings harmonize some of the riffs, and especially on this one, sounds awesome in the beginning. And then, of course, the whole Jason being like, "We got any wolves out there?" in like the breakdown part. Really cool, really nice addition. Master of Puppets, again, when it goes into the clean break, the way that the strings, they do like those 4 descending notes. Awesome. And then there's a little part in the solo where the strings harmonize it. There's like, it's like 1 second long. Really cool though. Really good shit. Then we have Call of Cthulhu, which during that break, like the violins start playing some crazy ass shit. Really awesome. And then of course they harmonize once again, like the second to last riff. Just sounds so damn good. And one last mention, honestly, I really do not like Nothing Else Matters. It's a lot better on the second one. But the first one, I really don't like the way James sings it when he's like, and nothing else matters. I'm just like, that doesn't sound that great. And it sucks because that, of course, is the song that Michael Kamen was actually on. So the strings were probably playing exactly what was on the original track. That you just couldn't hear it because they decided to just dip them hard in the volume, like goddamn the bass on Justice. But on S&M 2, that is rectified. He does a lot better on that one, so good job. Okay, now is the section where these are the songs I believe are better than the studio versions. Starting with, and in order, the further up it goes, the better I think it is than the original. So first off is Outlaw Torn. This one, they're pretty even. Like, I can go either way, which one I like better. There's just a lot of energy on this one. And, yeah, just a really solid performance. Along with Bleeding Me. Both of these are pretty even with the studios, I think. Simply just because you add in the strings and they're just great. The only, like, downside is that, you know, it being live, some of the vocals and Lars fills aren't as clean as the studio versions, but still really good. Then we have Hero of the Day. I just think that the loads lend themselves so nicely to be symphonyified. I just think the writing on those albums, just like, they're all just begging for symphonies. Also, I can't fucking believe that Sanitarium does not show up on either one of these. I can't actually fucking believe it. Sanitarium and Fade to Black were like begging to be S&M'd, but maybe for S&M 3. But yeah, simply put, everything that the orchestra does in Hero of the Day just makes it better. And plus, the studio one is okay, but yeah, there's a lot of nuances in this live version that just really bring some more life into it. And then going back to S&M 2 really quick, All Within My Hands. I don't want to spoil myself for the next video, but I'm sorry, All Within My Hands is a shit song. It's a disaster of a song. So this version is definitely a lot better, million times better than the original, only because that one sucks and this one is actually good. Like the acoustic, doing acoustic I think was a really good idea. And next up is going to be The Memory Remains. Once again, like I said, these loads, they're just really good with symphonies. And really for one simple reason, the na 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 part. The crowd doing it is infinitely better than the old lady doing it, because everyone knows that no one really likes how it sounds in the studio version. So when the crowd does it, much better. James' little suck it before the solo, really, really nice touch on there too. And yeah, going back to the ending where they're like, sing it, and they're doing the Nas. Just the crowd really is like part of the band here, because I especially love on this song when they're doing the Nas. After a while, you hear the one guy on like the left ear. He starts cheering. The one guy starts cheering, and then everyone else joins in, and it's just really nice, really nice. And then we're going to have The Thing That Should Not Be. Now, the studio version is okay, but that, along with the next song I'm about to talk about, there's not really a whole lot going on, and low-key can be kind of boring. But on this version, The intro is so damn cool with the way the orchestra like leads into it, and then like the oh my god before the solo, that's really fucking sick. He swaps the verses, which I think is pretty interesting. Like the second and third verse are swapped, probably just by mistake, but yeah, kind of cool. But yeah, and then of course we have like the horns that also play some really cool stuff on here. It just, the symphony adds a lot of creepy character moments, and even the way James sings it is like kind of like a horror-ish. Yeah, just the way that James sings it is really great. Really love how it does it. But, and this is the last one, I think, the biggest gap from the studio to this live version has got to be For Whom the Bell Tolls. The original is kind of boring. Lars doing just the fucking quarter note for the whole time. It's not really interesting, and like the long notes, there's not a lot of guitar action going on. It's a pretty boring song, but then you get to this version, and then the strings do like a harmony to the headbang riff, the dun 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 dun, but they go like higher. It's like opposite, and it just sounds really goddamn cool. Yeah, Lars not doing boring shit the whole time. That's a big plus. The symphony outro, the way they exit the song, but the best part has got to be Metallica does it a lot where like when it's like take a look to the sky before you die, it's the last time you will. They always like pause before leading into the next line. But this version has the best one, because like the echo of the will, and then the crowd like they like fade in the cheers. I mean, not like actually, but like it was just a magical moment where they cheer, and then it like leads right into the next line. It just sounds really good. It sounds really damn good. And yeah, For Whom the Bell Tolls is probably my favorite performance on this album. But of course, there are a couple songs on here that are exclusively on S&M. At least one of them is. First of all, you have Minus Human, and yeah, this is the only spot it's on. They only played it a few more times after this, but they haven't played it in over 20 years. It was just completely forgotten. I mean, not even for the second one. I couldn't believe it. I mean, that was the main opportunity to bust out Minus Human again. But no, they just completely forgot about this song. And yeah, it's not nearly as good as No Leaf Clover, but I don't think it's worth forgetting about. It's like I have more fingers on my one hand than times they play the song. And yeah, it's a pretty decent song. Like the intro is pretty damn cool. I like the slow down, it's just like a major mid tempo. It's kind of like Devil's Dance, that kind of style. But yeah, of course, then you have the big one, No Leaf Clover, and I think it's funny how this version is considered like the studio version, even though it's obviously live. But yeah, they play this song occasionally. They at least bust it out for the sequel. And yeah, No Leaf Clover is a damn good song. Fun to play on all the instruments round. Really like the bridge. It's pretty good. And yeah, 2 originals, and one of them is really damn good. One of them is pretty good. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts on S&M. Let me know what you think about the album. Any performances you think are better than the originals. And with this, we not only say goodbye to Jason, who departs the band only 2 years later. I mean, he did do the I Disappear track, which was the actual last thing, but not really going to talk about that song. So, goodbye, Jason. You are the best vocalist this band ever had. He would go on to create his own kick-ass band many years later. But we not only say goodbye to Jason, we also say goodbye to Lars's ride cymbal, as this would be the last time he would use it in a straight decade. So, Godspeed. He does the 2 China thing, which is really fucking stupid, but hey, what can you do? Okay, there's a third thing we say goodbye to for a little bit. Good music. Because unfortunately, the next album we're going to talk about is... Ooh, not that good. The band, during the making of it, the fans listening to it, have one thing in common. A lot of anger was involved. A lot of anger. It's time to get pissed off, everyone. I'll see you then.